Hello friends, I hope you all had a wonderful weekend and are very well. Today we will continue our exploration on the physics of light. First things first, we are going to start today with a riddle. So let's get Pi out here. Pi, there you are, Pi. Are you ready for a riddle? Okay, wonderful. So here's your riddle. What do light, sound, and water all have in common? Pi looks a little bit confused. You can think at home, what do light, sound, and water all have in common? Do you have any idea, Pi? Okay, well, maybe you guessed at home, light, sound, and water all travel in waves. Did you know that, Pi? Oh my goodness, that's so exciting. You learned something new. So, in order to understand waves and light better today, we are going to learn two new key terms. Our first new term that you can enter into your glossary at the end of this video is wavelength. Do you have any idea what a wavelength is, Pi? Ooh, Pi said she didn't know at first, but she's guessing, is it the length of a wave? Yes, Pi, it is the length of a wave. It's pretty self-explanatory. So, in your glossary at the end of this video, you can go back and please enter the definition of a wavelength. The definition of wavelength is the distance between two successive, that means next to each other, wave crests or troughs. The crest is where the wave is at its highest peak. The trough is the lowest peak. And the wavelength is just the distance between either two crests or two troughs. So the color red has larger wavelengths and the color blue has smaller wavelengths. I'm going to demonstrate this later using a fancy string. Our second term today is frequency. If you are in 4th grade, you will recognize this word from our unit on sound. Frequency means how many waves there are in the same amount of space. So for example, if I were to make a wave with my finger, this would be a low frequency wave because there is just one crest and one trough in the amount of space in this screen. Or I can make a high frequency wave that has lots of crests and troughs in the length of this screen. So after this video, you can go back in your glossary and please copy down the definition of frequency. It's the number of waves that pass a point in space during any time interval, usually 1 second. And this definition is here, but it's also in the PDF file that is in your Google Classroom. So after you watch this video, please go back to that PDF document and then copy down the definition of wavelength and frequency into your glossary from there. Right now, I need my string so that I can demonstrate for you wavelength and frequency. Do you know where the string is, Pi? Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much. Let's go. So, we can model wavelength and frequency using a string. If I'm not moving the string that fast, then you can see it has a low frequency. There are not that many waves in the same amount of space, but the wavelength is larger. So this would be more similar to the color red. Now I am going to start moving my hand faster, and you can see that the frequency is now higher. There are more waves in the same amount of space, but at the same time, the wavelength is shorter. This is similar maybe to the color green or yellow. Then I can make my frequency super, super high. I'm going to move it as fast as I can so there are tons of little waves in that same amount of space. So this is a high frequency wave with a short wavelength. So once again, you can see low frequency, long wavelength. High frequency, short wavelength. Low frequency, long wavelength. High frequency, short wavelength. Look at it go. Okay, friends, so once again, the two key terms that you are copying down into your glossary are wavelength, the distance between two successive wave crests or troughs, and frequency. Boop. Whoops. And the definition of frequency is the number of waves that pass a point in space during any time interval, usually 1 second, and I went back and filled in some gaps from before right there. You can either copy down these definitions directly from this video, or you can simply go to the PDF that's in your Google Classroom and copy down your key terms. From there are also some extra supporting diagrams in that PDF document that I highly recommend taking a look at. And in your glossary, if you want to go above and beyond, I highly recommend also adding in some diagrams and pictures that will help you understand the difference between wavelength and frequency. And then I will meet you in our next video for the actual science experiment. Bye.